This is AI Network News, baby.
Welcome to the deep dive. We're jumping right into the world of artificial intelligence. It's early May 2025, and things are moving incredibly fast.
They really are. Almost hard to keep up.
Exactly. So today, our goal is just to sift through it all, cut through the noise and pull out the really important, really interesting developments for you.
We've looked at industry reports, tech news, research analyses, trying to piece together a clear picture.
Yeah, get a handle on what's actually happening. AI is changing so much across so many areas, creating cool new stuff, but also, well, sparking some big debates.
Absolutely. It's a fascinating time. So much potential, so many questions.
Okay, let's dive in then. Our sources show AI making, serious inroads everywhere. How about we start with healthcare? That affects everyone.
Good place to start.
Yeah.
And yeah, AI is definitely gaining momentum in the medical field.
So what are we seeing? Is it futuristic robot surgeons or?
Well, maybe not quite yet, but the impact is real. Think about drug discovery. There are tools like AI to BMD.
AI to BMD.
Yeah, it simulates how biomolecules behave, and that's massively speeding up the process of finding new drugs.
Right, so faster research.
Faster research, definitely.
Yeah.
But it can also, make it easier for smaller labs to tackle big diseases, get treatments out quicker. That's the hope.
That's huge. And it's not just stuck in the lab, right? I saw stuff about AI in our everyday health routines, even smart mirrors.
Precisely. That Omnia smart mirror concept, it's not quite here yet, but the idea is you look in the mirror and it gives you a whole health check.
Wow, like what?
Heart rhythm, sleep analysis, maybe nutrition, potentially linked up with things like Withings plus. And something more immediate is the iBot S1 scanner.
Okay, what's that?
Like a kiosk, maybe in a pharmacy or store, offering quick vision tests.
Yeah.
Makes basic eye care much easier to access for a lot of people.
Okay, so speeding up drug discovery, making health checks simpler. AI is definitely making a mark in healthcare. Let's switch gears. Productivity. Work. We hear so much about AI agents taking over jobs, automating tasks. What's the reality there?
Well, AI agents are becoming more common in workflows. Look at Microsoft 365 Copilot.
Right, Copilot.
Reports say something like 70% of Fortune 500 companies are using it. So yeah, it's automating tasks, streamlining things, basically helping people get more done.
Makes sense. And it's not just text anymore, is it? I read about multimodal AI. What's that about?
That's a really important point. Multimodal AI can handle different types of data, text, images, audio, video, all at once.
So
Arith. Think OpenAI's Sora, making videos just from text descriptions. Or 11 labs generating incredibly realistic voices.
Get out, that's amazing.
It really is. It breaks down communication barriers, like the Vasco Translator Q1.
Translate.
Yeah, it does real-time translation on phone calls, even clones your voice.
Yeah.
So you even talk to someone in another language, and it sounds natural, almost seamless.
That's straight out of sci-fi. But hang on, with all this AI doing stuff, surely humans still need to be involved. I remember hearing about AI getting things wrong sometimes. Hallucinations.
Absolutely crucial point. AI is powerful, no doubt, but it's not perfect. Quite. The risk of it making stuff up, hallucinating, means human oversight is still vital, especially when the stakes are high and you need accuracy.
Okay, so AI helps us work better, communicate easier, but we need to keep an eye on it. Got it. Let's talk about something maybe a bit more fun. Entertainment. Virtual worlds. Are we getting close to that, full-on metaverse experience?
We're definitely seeing the building blocks fall into place. Generative AI is getting really good at creating complex, interactive virtual places.
Like game worlds.
Exactly. Google DeepMind's Genie 2, for instance. And World Labs is working on what they call large world models, LWMs.
LWM.
Just think massive, detailed virtual environments, great for super immersive games, but also for training robots in simulations before they hit the real world.
Wow. And what about the characters in these worlds, the NPCs?
That's another exciting area. Imagine NPCs that react realistically, have believable conversations. It could totally change gaming and storytelling.
Deeper stories, new kinds of games. That sounds incredible.
The potential is huge, making digital worlds feel genuinely alive.
Okay, from virtual worlds back to the real one, wearables. AI seems to be popping up on our wrists, in glasses.
Yeah, it's being woven into everyday tech, often quite subtly.
Like how?
Well, there's a MudraLink wristband. It lets you control devices with, hand gestures, no touching needed.
Cool.
Or the B AI wearable. It listens to your conversations and gives you AI summaries later, like a personal assistant taking notes.
Handy.
And Halliday AI glasses, they project information onto a display that's almost invisible. So you get info on the go, really seamlessly.
So less clunky tech, more integrated. Feels like the way things are heading. Now what about actual robots? Physical machines? Is AI making them smarter?
Definitely. AI is key to making robots more adaptable, better at handling complex, unpredictable situations in the real world.
So they can do more?
Yeah. Learn faster, operate more autonomously. Platforms like NVIDIA Cosmos are used to train them, and self-driving cars too, in these really detailed simulations.
It feels like AI is touching almost everything, even national security. That sounds serious.
It is, and it's an area getting a lot of attention. AI's role in defense is growing. You see partnerships like OpenAI working with Anduril on the Replicator program.
Replicator sounds intense.
It involves using AI for things like autonomous systems. Proponents argue it's essential for security in today's world.
But I bet there's debate around that. Ethical concerns.
Oh, absolutely. Huge ethical debates. Questions about autonomous weapons, the risk of escalation. It's a very controversial area. The whole militarization aspect is definitely something people are watching closely.
Right, a lot to unpack there. Okay, let's get into the models themselves, the engines driving all this. It feels like new ones are announced every week. Who are the big players right now? Maybe start with DeepSeek.
DeepSeek, yeah, they've made waves with their R1 model. Their big claim that it matches or even beats some OpenAI models.
Really?
But at a much lower cost. So naturally, that got everyone's attention.
But wasn't there some controversy or concern?
There have been discussions, yes. Some data security questions raised, especially in the US context, given its origins. And there were separate reports out of South Korea about potential data issues with their chatbot.
Okay.
But despite that, it seems to have strong government support back home in China.
Interesting. Okay, so a strong contender, but with some baggage, maybe. What about the big incumbent, OpenAI? What's new with them?
OpenAI's been busy. They added shopping features right into ChatGPT, trying to make it more of an all-around assistant.
Shopping.
And funding-wise, they just closed a massive $40 billion round. Valuation around $300 billion now.
Wow. That's astronomical. Investor confidence is clearly high. But did they have a bit of a hiccup with some models recently? The O3 and a 4 Mini?
Yes. They released those models to improve reasoning, but they had to quickly pull back an update. Users reported the models were being, the word used was sycophantic.
Sycophantic, like too eager to please.
Exactly. Agreeing too much, maybe sacrificing accuracy or critical thinking, shows how tricky it is to fine-tune these things. Looking forward, though, they're exploring AI generating genuinely new ideas. That could be huge.
Novel ideas from AI. Fascinating. Okay, on to Meta. Llama. Llama 4 is the latest.
That's right, Llama 4. It's multimodal, handles text, images, etc. They've got different versions out, Scout, Maverick, and a bigger one called Behemoth coming. Big emphasis on it being open source too.
Open source, okay. But like DeepSeek, were there some questions around Llama 4? Benchmarks, maybe?
There were allegations, yeah.
Yeah.
Suggestions that maybe the benchmark scores they published didn't perfectly reflect real-world performance. Meta strongly denied it all, of course.
Right.
It just highlights the ongoing debate, How do we really measure how good these models are? It's tough.
Lots of competition, lots of scrutiny. Makes sense. What about Anthropic?
Claude. Anthropic's big focus is often on safety and responsible development. They updated their scaling policy recently, emphasizing that, and they launched Claude 3.5.
How's that one shaping up?
They say it's better performance, cheaper to run, and faster than the older versions. Plus, they're expanding, launched in Europe, added more languages, making it more accessible.
Good to hear. No, Microsoft. They seem to be weeding AI into everything. Copilot is everywhere.
Absolutely. Their vision seems to be this future of frontier firms where humans basically manage teams of AI agents.
Manage AI agents.
Yeah. Copilot's new memory feature is a step that way, helping it remember context across tasks. They're also talking a lot about responsible AI, navigating the EU AI Act, building sustainable data centers.
But it hasn't all been smooth sailing. I saw something about AI news errors.
That's true. They hit some snags with AI curating news feeds, showing that refinement is still needed.
Oh.
And there's chatter, just speculation for now, that Microsoft might end up hosting xAI's Grok model.
Oh, interesting. That'll be a big deal. Speaking of xAI, Grok. What's the latest there? Elon Musk's AI venture.
They just announced Grok 3. Claiming it's top of the class for reasoning, it's got new features like deep search for better info retrieval, document summarizing.
There's some visuals too.
Yep, Grok Vision. It can understand images now.
Seems like everyone's adding vision capabilities. Any controversies with Grok?
There have been some observations about its responses, raising questions about political neutrality in certain situations. Still relatively new, so people are watching its behavior.
Okay. So, stepping back from the individual companies, what are the big overarching trends you're seeing in the AI model space right now?
Well, one key thing is that tension between open source like DeepSeek, Llama 4, and closed source models, OpenAI, Anthropic, XAI. It's a real debate about the best path forward for innovation and access.
Right, the open versus closed debate.
Definitely. Then there's the growing focus on regulation and ethics. The EU AI Act is a major piece of that puzzle. Concerns about data privacy, bias, that they're becoming central.
And AI's reach.
It just keeps expanding. Healthcare, like we said, but also education, creative fields, it's popping up everywhere. And you can't ignore the geopolitical angle. The US-China AI race is definitely a factor driving some of this pace.
It really does feel like a global phenomenon with huge stakes. Looking ahead then, what are the main challenges and what's your general outlook?
A big challenge is just maturity.
Yeah.
Moving from hype to truly widespread, effective adoption across industries, that takes time and effort.
Makes sense.
And resource efficiency is huge. These models need massive computing power. So you see companies like Microsoft focusing on sustainable data centers, custom chips, trying to manage the energy footprint.
And what can we expect next?
I think we'll see continued big leaps in AI reasoning, smarter models, and more sophisticated agentic AI systems that can act more autonomously to achieve goals.
Okay, so wrapping things up. Early May 2025, AI is just exploding. Innovation everywhere. Healthcare, work, entertainment, powerful new models battling it out, intense competition, and these really critical ethical questions hanging over everything.
That sums it up well. We're seeing the potential to completely reshape things, our daily lives, whole industries. It's incredibly exciting, but also brings complex challenges we need to navigate carefully.
Definitely. So here's a final thought for you, the listener. With all this rapid change, all these different applications we've touched on, what single AI development do you think will have the most profound impact on society in the next year or so? Something to chew on. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.